Welcome to Misfits and Mystics podcast, where we have conversations intersecting faith, mental health, artistry, and social justice. We're so glad you're here. So get cozy.
But not too cozy, because we do keep it real on this podcast.
Listen with care.
And enjoy.
Hey everybody, it's me, Abra. This week we're doing something a little different. It's a bonus/mini episode where I basically compiled some snippets from candid interviews that I've done with a few of my friends. I did this in commemoration of Pride Month, and some of the conversations are from interviews that I actually did a while ago as part of the Queering Dance series, as well as research that I'm doing for a couple of queer dance projects here and there. So I just decided to take the best of the best of what my friends had to say on what it is to be queer, what it is to be a queer artist, a dancer, coming out, gender, sexuality, nuance, and we wrap it up with a little reflection on Pride. So sit back and enjoy. We're here.
We're queer.
We had some beer. Well, I did.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too. I had a little beer.
Okay. Yay, finally.
I literally always knew. So
That you were queer?
like, even before it was like a word. If that makes sense. Like, our family was so closed off to even, like, the idea of saying any of the words that have to do with anything other than straight. I didn't know straight was a thing. I didn't know gay was a thing. The first time I heard the term lesbian was in 4th grade. And I still didn't understand that. I guess that was like the moment where I realized that the term gay or lesbian is not the norm. So I never questioned myself before. And then in like 4th grade, whenever I heard one of my friends say the word, and I asked what it was, and they were like, that's whenever a girl likes another girl. It kind of did like a spiral.
Yeah.
To understanding that's not that's not normal in this society, but that's something that I've never questioned about myself before. Me liking girls. So that was a really big moment in my life. Mm-hmm. Whenever I understood that the term is a word because of the fact that it is not the norm of society.
Yeah.
It kind of made me question in 4th grade why it even had a word to describe it in the first place.
I like hate to say this, but like in like Maura fashion I have to, that I like don't talk about queerness a lot, so I feel like if nothing, like, I'm sorry if I say weird shit, I don't talk about it a lot. I think because I'm like off, like, at least in my current, the dance community that I'm in, it's like so removed.
Mm-hmm.
Like lately, the few conversations I've had with people have been because like, oh, we're both queer, and like there's no queer people, like
Yeah.
I mean there are, but like visibly or like audibly, like, yeah, it's being like, I don't know. So yeah,
identify as gay or lesbian, I guess. And it honestly has, like, since I've come out, because I haven't been out for very long, I've only been out since October of last year, I guess. They're coming up on a year. But it definitely helped me, like, feel more free and feel more comfortable in my skin, like, when I'm dancing. I definitely feel, I just feel more comfortable. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, just in everyday life, I just hold myself higher because I'm not being something that I'm not. But not, I never realized that I wasn't, that I was being somebody that I wasn't before. You know what I mean? So it was a very enlightening process and feeling. But I just dove right into it. Like, I was just like, I'm gay. I like women. I have for a long time. I suppressed it for a long time. And I didn't really see it as an option for a long time. So once the option came to, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want. So I just went for it. And I think that helped me in my dancing.
But didn't know it was a term. Didn't know it should have been a term that should ever be used because I didn't understand.
Well, I mean, straightness, hetero normativity, like that's the default in society. And so when it comes to like the different labels and stuff, if being straight is like the default, then it makes sense that like you wouldn't have access to different terms, different labels and what they mean. But it doesn't like negate the truth that like you are attracted to girls. And I think it's okay to like not really know like or be definitive on a label, but to just know that about yourself and to live in that truth, which you're obviously doing now. Do you think that once you had access to a label that felt right to you to describe yourself, did it help empower you to like live in your truth more?
Yes. The tricky thing about it is I would not label myself as straight or gay. So whenever I did hear that label for the first time, for like a couple of years, I did label myself in my own mind as gay because of the simple fact that I am attracted to girls. And I do have emotional connections to girls. But it throughout high school, it was very confusing because being queer, it's not just being attracted to one type of person.
Yeah.
So I being in the closet about liking girls made me push those people away that would be potentially relationships or anything that could have come from that. But it also made me push out the idea that I could be with anyone else other than girls because of the label of being gay.
Yeah.
So I pushed out basically everyone because I didn't want to come out as queer, and also because I didn't understand that you could have more than one sexual attraction to different genders. If I labeled myself, it was just very confusing.
Yeah.
Because I honestly didn't even start labeling myself as bisexual until maybe college. Like beginning college, end of senior year type. So it's been very recent where I've been very open about just letting people who connect with me be that, rather than taking a label and running with it.
And so it was like a reconnection to my body and noticing how like gendering my body had placed so many constraints on me as a dancer, And that's not what I wanted to bring into the space, bring into dance spaces. And then, like, my practice, like, being able to practice that, like, on my own a lot in the studio.
Yeah, I mean, the response when I came out was very positive and very uplifting and very much like this is supposed to be it. Like, this is really where you're supposed to be and really how you're supposed to be feeling. And everybody around me knew I was just late to the game, which happens a lot. I only got some like weird feedback from a few people, and it wasn't ever negative. It was just like kind of just saying weird shit. Like, it's like, really?
Processing.
Really? Yeah. It was definitely like them processing and talking it out with me, which is fine. But I also had people reach out to me, you know, and be like, okay, I've been feeling this way for a long time. What does it mean? Is this how you felt? Is this where I should be going? Like, I'm curious. I want to experiment. Like, okay, do it. Go for it. Like, it opened up a lot of doors, I think, to other people in my life that I wasn't expecting to reach out to me and feel comfortable enough to talk to me about it. And yeah, just like, I think that it helped other people open doors that were closed for a long time in their heads, because it was the same experience. So it helped me relate to people in a different way. Just because they felt comfortable reaching out to me and saying, hey, I'm feeling this too.
Yeah.
What did you feel? How did you come to this conclusion? Am I just feeling these because I'm curious? You know?
I'm really, like, searching for a way to, like, teach more honestly, because I think the gender binary is so limiting, and to tell kids through a dance education that your body has to move in one way or the other way or these ways is like so hurtful.
Yeah.
And harmful.
I'd never thought about that. I guess as a young kid, yes, they put you're a girl, so they put you in girl things.
Mm-hmm.
They, like, but I felt as a kid I kind of did a mixture of both. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of always, I never really thought about it. I didn't understand that, like, until maybe, probably way younger. Gender, I think, is way more focused on than sexuality.
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely defining me as a girl, very young. But it's just been lately just I don't know how to explain it.
Sort of like just retraining yourself to get out of the assumptions and just probably embody what makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So if being more androgynous makes you feel more comfortable, then that's how you're going to express yourself. And it doesn't like have to determine like what we should assume about you. No one should ever assume anything about anybody, but that's how we're trained or conditioned to be. Like, if you see someone in a pink dress, then we assume that, then that's like a woman thing. But who's to say that, like, you could be a cis man and still rock that pink dress, you know? We don't have to abide by gender roles, including what we wear and how we present ourselves. And because I remember putting on I wore one of my dad's button-up shirts, and I was like, this is, number one, a very comfortable shirt. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm kind of a little jealous, because it's like, usually they don't make women's shirts feel so comfortable in the way that it was making me comfortable. And I realized that I was like, I like to wear my clothes loose, you know, but on a female body or female presenting body, you know, if you wear baggy, loose clothes, then that's seen as more masculine. And I realized it's like, I'm not trying to necessarily be masculine, I'm just trying to be comfortable.
Yeah.
But
I've done that a lot with
I think, I think like before coming out as queer, I probably would have felt more uncomfortable, like being comfortable in men's clothing. But now it's like being queer has liberated me from those gender expectations, and to be like, listen, this is comfortable, this feels good, and this is how I'm gonna present myself in the world. And it doesn't determine my sexual orientation or anything. No matter if I'm wearing a skirt or wearing a suit, Abra likes girls. Okay? So when you are teaching and a kid is like, Maura, are you like, what are you? Are you a boy or a girl? Do you usually just say like, well, I'm just Maura, or?
Well, this year has been like really difficult for me in answering that question, because I just started identifying for myself that like it feels dishonest and like strange and like dysphoric, I guess, to answer and say I'm a girl. And I used to say like some girls have short hair, or like, I don't know, I would like rattle out these like things that were just reinforcing a gender binary. And so when it's happened, like only a few times have I said I'm not a boy or a girl, like that, those are only two choices. And like I think I said like I identify as myself, and like got a bunch of just like nods, or like, and then I used like distraction techniques to like distract them. But they're also young. A lot of young kids ask me. But then when older kids ask me, it like freaks me out, because, and I'm like, I shouldn't be teaching, or I should like figure out how to answer this question, because I feel like attacked. And and I know that I know like what the messages that are just being, and then there's a business, and I don't know how people feel, and I don't want to be labeled, and like
it does not matter. Not that it would be like it matters, like I have to be attracted to them, but masculine, feminine, anything in between is, if there's sexual chemistry there, it's not going to make a difference for me. But it also, I don't have a preference. So I've never noticed a pattern, if that makes sense. So, but I feel very much more romantically attracted to women. It's a lot harder for me to feel connected to men whenever it comes to a relationship.
All the possibilities of my gender and gender expression, like my dancing like shifts and like opens and closes, and like I don't know, they're like they always seem very because I was talking to someone about I said that like coming out was like they were saying something, and I think we were talking about coming out, but they're a dancer too, and I was saying that like coming out was like so closely related to like dancing,
Mm-hmm.
and like all the denial like in my body and all the like rigid, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, when I think about dance, a lot of times it can be very rigid, particularly with certain techniques where you're like asking the body to do things that like it doesn't want to do, but it has to do in order to achieve a certain aesthetic. So paralleling that to identity, it's like when you are being forced to put yourself in a box or identify in a way that defies like what feels good or what feels natural to you, it is very limiting.
Yeah, it's like limiting your like pleasure. I feel like I was always doing that in many ways.
Yeah.
Including like in dancing and in I just realized that I'm talking about dance the whole time, but it's just the most relevant, like,
absolutely,
for me. Yeah.
And I feel like dancers, well, I don't want to say all dancers, but a lot of dancers are not having this conversation. Like, we're not being honest about how like our conditioning and our process like impacts the way we move, why we move, who we're moving with, the path we take. Like, I just feel like dance has become very superficial in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And like, it's very transactional. Like, you do this for me and I do this for you, but like nobody is really like, a lot of people aren't diving deep. And the ones that are, like, obviously aren't really getting the traction and attention, you know, which is, I guess that's, like, true to life, you know, regardless of what medium you're working in.
That it's safe, that it's a safe place to explore what you want to explore, but it's been drilled into my head that you need to be this way, you need to fit into this mold of a dancer, you need to look this way when you dance, you need to look this way when you leap. You need to do this with your shoulders, you need to do this with your feet. Like, that dancing any other way and being any other way was, like, just not an option. Because you had to fit this mold. And so, yeah, months of that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yes, it definitely can improve because it just needs, like, those doors just need to be, like, blatantly open. And blatantly honest and not just assumed, because assumptions, they don't get anybody anywhere by assuming anything. Like, no matter what it is, you can, like, even in the restaurant industry, like, we talked about this the other night, if you assume that we know what you're typing out, like, with 2 letters, you can't assume anything.
Right.
Half the kitchen doesn't speak English. Like, you can't assume that they know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, just because you know what it means, like, assumptions don't get us anywhere in any aspect of life. So, definitely can improve on the assuming part of it.
I feel like Pride is a big old like queer family reunion.
Yeah.
Because you're always like running into people that like you know, but you haven't seen in a while. You're meeting new people, and they just like instantly become your family. Like I met up with, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
And I feel like even the people that you don't know, you feel like you do. That energy is it's literally family.
Yes, like last night, just like random people coming up to us and dancing with us and vibing with us, and so
I wish it was Pride every day. And I know I have Pride every day, but I'm saying like that camaraderie and that village of people and oneness, like because the hard part is loving each other in between moments like this.
Yeah.
And I think that as a human race, we struggle with that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, just having this moment to just be like, I see you, I love you, you're important. Like, I just wish everybody practiced that every day.
Yeah. I mean, it is important to pause and take a moment to just honor and celebrate people. And that's the other thing about Pride is it's such a safe space for people to, one, take up space how they need to, and just literally be, to just exist. And nobody's like, oh my God, what are you doing? You know? Just so beautiful, so rich. And I'm so blessed that I got to experience Pride with you and all the other people that I met, the people that I know.
It was so magical.
So magical. And like, it's crazy how everybody's connected in different ways. But there's like a conundrum, this continuum of like us all being connected in some way or another, you know? Like there were so many moments where I was like, how do you know this person? How do you know that person? Or, oh, like I know this person, you know? Or I'm from here, so like we're connected in that way. And like I said, it's just like a big family reunion.
To me, but basically any support and understanding is family. As long as it's all, like reciprocated and compassionate, that's family.
Yeah.
It doesn't. We are all human beings, and that's it. Like I really can't think of any words to say other than if you support me and I support you wholeheartedly, that is family. And that's it. And I love my family, like my blood family. They're all very wonderful people. They've done so many good things to me for different reasons. But some family is family for certain things, and there's family for other things.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be all encompassing. This type of family is for this, and this type of family is for something else. It doesn't. I don't really know if I have a family that's all encompassing of every aspect of me.
Sure. Yeah.
Like there's people that support certain things. So
I share blood with a lot of people on this planet, but I don't know shit about them. We don't connect, and that's cool. You know, that's fine. We do have a connection in the sense that we have a collective heritage, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's very powerful, but there's also power in connecting with people that you otherwise, you know, wouldn't have shit to do with.
Right.
But especially for like LGBTQ plus people, it's so important because a lot of us have been displaced by the people that are supposed to love on us
anyway,
and
anything.
And so to find solace and unconditional love in the most unlikely of places and unlikely of people is so powerful and magical, and oh my God. What are you doing for Pride this year?
I'm partying. Just kidding. I'm going to the Pride Parade with some friends.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have planned.
Nice.
That's it.
Well, that's good enough.
And just celebrating.
Yeah.
All month.
Yeah.
And all year.
All year. Pride is every month, every year, but you know.
Well, so I've only gone to it one time because now I like actively don't go because, I just like choose not to go, because I do think it's like a big distraction, and I don't understand why, all of these people can come together for a parade, but we can't do more than that, and that's not even enough. Like, I'm not, but like, yeah, I think it's a distraction and a celebration for some. I just don't think we're celebrating the right things in this pride. I don't know, but it's a parade, you know, like, I don't even know what the number of people are that, like, go to it, but I don't think there's nearly enough emphasis on the work that needs to be done, and it's a distraction from that.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Would you say that, well, because I think it's gotten lost, like, the history of Pride, like,
yeah,
in the sense that even after the Stonewall riots, like, I feel like what we know, like, how Pride is done now was not always how Pride was done. Like,
no,
it was more, I feel like initially it was more solemn than it is now, and it was more about, like, honoring and commemorating, like, the work that like was being done and it continues to be done, like, to liberate people. And it wasn't always a party, you know.
Yeah, and at the parade you get this sense, obviously, like, that people think the work, white gay men, white people think the work is, like, over, and it's over. And yeah, so I think the parade is just, like, a big, obviously none of this can go on, that I can't talk, but it's a big, just, like, corporate trash ball.
Ooh.
But not everyone, but the parade, like, what it represents, and everyone's, like, partying, but, like, possibly not understanding, like, what happened for them to be partying in this moment, like, but just obviously not understanding, like, the history of Pride, and also just, like, taking up so much space with that not understanding, like, and
I guess, like, Pride is like a double-edged sword for some people, because people are like, well, you know, it should always be rooted in, like, liberation and not just about making a profit and making money. If anybody should be making money, it should be people in our community. And so I guess I try to support like, queer businesses and like, queer artists and things.
That's why I've been so hesitant. There's been a lot of advertisements this year, specifically. I think it's bigger than ever. It's everywhere.
Every year it gets bigger and bigger,
and it's it's a lot this year. And I have been questioning if, like, I would see some cool shoes that I, like, want, and then I'm like, well, is it queer oriented?
Are queer people benefiting from me purchasing these products?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
versus, like, the big companies that are just using queer people to make a profit, but they're not doing anything to actually help queer people. Whether that's, like, how many people are on staff at your company that are actually queer, or if you donate to any organizations, like, is any money going back into the LGBTQ community? Yeah. So this is the best way I know how to avoid that, is to just try to purchase like specifically with anything, like, Pride related, trying to, like, purchase from, like, actual LGBTQ plus people and businesses, because I know that even if it's just the owner of that business, they're benefiting from that, and hopefully, like, being liberated or being able to liberate others through the money that they're making. Yeah. We just got back from Pride.
The most incredible Pride ever.
Most incredible Pride ever. Shout out to Nashville Pride. Nobody does it like us.
Nobody.
Yeah.
It was a shit. It was so much love and light and positivity. Positivity. Honestly, yesterday and today were two of the best days of my life. Like,
Ditto.
seriously.
Ditto.
And I just like feel super grateful. And I think that the people I was with, yourself included, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Right.
It couldn't have been. All that, and you can't recreate moments like that.
Nope.
Like, you can't recreate magic like that.
Literal magic. Like, I believe in magic.
Me too.
And that's what that is.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I'm so
Pride 2019!
Woo!
We want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in. Continue the conversation with us. Develop a community with other misfits and mystics like us, and get your latest updates on Shameless Plugs and other news by following us on social media. We are on Instagram at Misfits and Mystics Pod, Twitter at Misfits Mystics, and we also have a Facebook page that you can like and share.
Want to reach us directly? Shoot us an email at misfitsandmysticspod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, and with your permission, we might give you a shout out on future episodes.
Don't forget to subscribe on whatever streaming service you're using to stay up to date on newest episodes being released.
Leave us a review on iTunes to help us gain more visibility. Plus, we appreciate the feedback.